for that. And thank you for being here. I don't know how many of you knew that I was going to speak this morning.
Yes.
That's why we here.
Well, I was just asked yesterday to speak. And I tell you, when you put something out there in the universe, you have to believe that it's going to happen. When it's going to happen, you don't have any control over that. And so that's how it was for me yesterday. So at first I was like, well, I'll let you know. When Reverend Allen asked me, I said, well, I'll let you know. So as I'm thinking about it and feeling it and trying to figure out, well, tomorrow, what in the world can I get together for tomorrow? And a little bit of panic set in, okay? And I was originally thinking, well, I can't do this because I don't know what to say, because I haven't prepared anything. And Tony said yesterday, well, don't worry about it. If you don't feel like it or you don't want to or your answer is no, don't feel bad. It's okay. So I recognized as I'm trying to make this decision, if I am or if I'm not, and then it just came over me, well, you've been asking to, and I've been also saying yes. You've been asking for things to open you up and new challenges in my life. And I'm always online taking some kind of class, so I'm constantly learning, okay? So because I'm saying yes, and I decided, okay, I can't say no to this, I have to say yes, because I have to step into a possibility of growing within. And so I text him and I says, okay, I'll speak. And then once I did that and sent it off, again, panic set in. But you know, what I do know is that me and so many others have a tendency to know something psychologically and intellectually, and we hear it and we repeat it and we say it. But when it's time to actually embody it and be it, there's just another challenge.
Yes.
You know, because it's okay for me to tell somebody, well, you know, just try being here now, thinking about your body and being here, and, you know, don't worry about all that in the past, think about what's happening right now. It's easy to say that. And then when I practice it, it's okay when I'm really in the mindset of practicing be here right now. I can make that happen. But I have to be consciously aware that that's what I'm doing, because I haven't quite learned how to just do that naturally yet. It's a continuous process.
Yes.
And it's a good one. I like it. So in the process of that, Dr. Mims called me, and I called her back, and I told her I was been asked to speak. So she said, oh, Patricia, that's wonderful. She said, I said, but I don't have any idea of what I'm going to say, and I'm trying to figure it out. She says, well, why don't you talk about your voicemail? She says, you tell everybody to have the kind of day you want to have. And I said, oh, okay, that sounds good. And it did, and I started coming up with some things in my mind. And then, of course, I was like, well, do I really know enough to say about that? Because even though I say that, have the kind of day you want to have, what does that really mean to me? What does that really mean to me? Have the kind of day I want to have. So, which means the reading that Richard did this morning, saying that, you know, constantly keeping God within my spirit, listening for guidance of how to live my life, what to say, where to go, what route to take, because there's so many different things that I can do. But when I'm having the kind of day that I want to have, then it's really consciously being conscious, being in my spirit of knowing that what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's just not my ego taking me here and there and saying yes to everything that I really that's not going to put me in a place where I want to be, physically, mentally, or spiritually. So I thought, okay, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll think about that a little bit. And then the day started happening. And I let the day happen without having the kind of day that I want to have. I had to go sing last night, so I had to practice. I had to be conscious of what I was doing. And everybody and everything needed me. And I haven't quite learned how to say no yet. I am practicing yes. After this, I practice no. Even though I know that saying no is a good thing, it's not a bad thing. It's just that it takes practice for me, because I'm used to saying yes. So I just let the day happen, and I didn't feel like I had prepared or thought enough about what I was going to talk about. So this morning, doing my meditation, it came to me to read this book that sometimes I read. It's called Jesus Calling, and it has different sayings, daily sayings. So I opened it up and recognized that I hadn't opened it up since December the 28th. So when I opened it up, this is what it said. Then I went to, for yesterday, or today. So it says, I am your refuge and your strength. I am ever-present help. And ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, you don't need to be afraid of anything, not even catastrophic circumstances. The media are increasingly devoted to fear-inducing subject matters: terrorism, serial killers, environmental catastrophics. If you focus on such danger and forget that I am your refuge in all circumstances, you will become increasingly fearful. Every day, I manifest my grace in countless places and situations, but the media takes no notice. I shower not only blessings, but also upright miracles on your planet. As you grow closer to me, I open your eyes to see more and more of my presence all around you. Things that most people hardly notice, like shifting shades of sunlight, fill you with heart-bursting joy. You have eyes that see and ears that hear, so proclaim my abiding presence in the world. So that was very right now type stuff. It kind of helped me relax. So then January 31st, I am your strength and your shield. I plan out each day and have it all ready for you, long before you arise from bed. I also provide the strength you need each step of the way. Instead of assessing your energy level and wondering about what's on the road ahead, concentrate on staying in touch with me. My power flows freely into you through your open communication. Refuse to waste energy worrying, and you'll have the strength to spare. Whenever you start to feel afraid, remember that I am your shield. But unlike inanimate armor, I am always alert and active. My presence watches over you continually, protecting you from both known and unknown danger. Entrust yourself to my watch care, which is the best security system available. I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go. So that gave me some peace. And it also helped me to remember that there really is nothing to fear. And especially when I'm going to speak about the goodness of us all and what we all carry that is the same, which is the divine spirit of the all-knowing oneness of God. How can I be afraid to talk about that? I talk about it all the time.
Yes.
I really do. I talk about it so much in my life with different people, different subjects, because how can you talk about anything without bringing God into the subject? Because God is everything. God is everywhere. God is all-knowing, all-seeing, all-being, and have my being in God. He's speaking through me right now because, like I said, there's no words that I have planned to say. So right here and right now, I want you to just take in a deep breath with me, please. Okay. And recognizing that I'm not the only one who live from my head sometimes. Anybody else?
Oh yeah.
And then when you recognize that and you want to be in your spirit, are there certain things that you do?
Oh yeah.
Anybody want to share what you do for just getting into the spirit? Breathe. I like that one.
So
You sew. Mm-hmm.
I tell myself that I have a choice. That I can either feel like this or I can feel like this. Count my blessings.
Be grateful for.
I might go pull a stone or a shell or something off of my altar and just hold it and feel that connection to nature. Because that's here.
Yes, it's out of the head into the heart.
Walk my dog.
Walk your dog. I love that. It's that connection with all that is, all life. So the things that you have said just kind of brings us back to right here, right now, which is where I strive to be. All day, I strive to be here. And I say all day, and I have to say intermittently throughout the day, because to be right there all the time is where I am when I'm meditating or where I am when I'm praying. If I'm driving the car, I do pray while I'm driving the car. But then it's challenging when somebody just actually cuts you off to the point that you have to slam on your brakes. And then I have to really focus on being conscious. I have to focus on being conscious and not just really do some things that is out of the realm of being in the spirit. The one thing that I know about having the kind of day that I want to have is that when I get up in the morning, I always say, give thanks, and know that this is going to be a good day. I've begun asking empowering questions. Things like, how can it get better than this? Regardless. How can it get better than this? Even when it is so good, how can it get better than this? And when it's not so good, how can it get better than this? How can I feel, what does it feel like to have all my needs met? Just imagine that. What does it feel like to have all my needs met?
It's a good one.
It's a good, empowering question. It puts our mind in a different place as opposed to saying, I wonder how come I can't get what I keep asking for. I've been asking for this for so long and it hasn't happened. So why me? Why doesn't it happen? What does it feel like to have all my needs met? And then my mind can go to the feeling part of it, because I'm asking what does it feel like. So it gives me joy. When I start thinking about the things that I want, the things that I need, where I'd like to be in my life, then it puts me in a position and a mindset of moving forward as opposed to feeling stuck and as a victim.
Yes.
So empowering questions. Can anybody give me an empowering question that came up for them when I said that?
What good will you have for me today?
Yeah, that's a good one. Think about it. It's not easy because how many times do we ask ourselves empowering questions?
How can I make a difference today?
That's a good one.
Yeah, how can I be of service?
How can I be of service?
How can I be my best friend?
How can I be my best friend? That is something that is, I think, as an important piece of living is being our best friend. Because once we are our best friend, then we can definitely befriend somebody else. But it also helps us not to look outside of ourselves for joy and happiness and friendship. Even though that comes automatically because we're our best friend. People see that in us, and then they, I don't know, they come into our lives. God puts them into our lives. We always meet people where they are. We accept them where they are, and they are the people that are supposed to meet, that we're supposed to meet, because they have something to offer. They are bringing us a light. They're bringing us an understanding. They're bringing us an understanding of who we are, who they are, and allowing us to be truthful with ourselves and with them. So, in having the kind of day that I want to have, I recognize that it is also a conscious choice. I am my own person.
Yes.
I make my own decisions.
Yes.
And so, recognizing that, I have to let go and trust. Now, we know that to be a word or words that we hear all the time. Let go and let God.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a wonderful thing. Have you mastered that yet?
Well.
And really, what does that mean?
Right.
I'll tell you, for me it meant letting go of all that. Because see, I could have had 2 or 3 sheets that I would have written down. And then I would look at it and I might just read it. Or I might look at it and not read it at all. It would bring up something and I'd go way off of whatever I've written. So Reverend Allen always says to me, trust and allow God to speak through you. So I just want you to know that right here and right now, that is exactly what's happening, because I am just allowing myself to be open to the natural things that come into my mind to share with you. And I am also of the mindset that whatever it is that I'm saying, that somebody is getting something from it, enjoying it, need to hear it, and I let that go and let that be. I don't have a whole lot to say because I'm not a real big talker, but when it comes to talking about God, you know, I can say and know that we all are covered all the time by the divine light. And if we just allow the divine light to shine within us, to shine out through us to others, then we stand the chance of being the light of the world. Like God wants us to shine its light. You can call it His light, her light, their light, our light. Our light is its light. It's the divine within us that shines through, that lets us know that everything that we come in contact with is for a reason. Everyone that we come in contact with is for a reason. And what is that reason? Do we really take time to feel and understand what it meant? When we meet somebody in the grocery store, we might just pass them and say hi, and they are interesting. Or we have a little short conversation, and it was a nice conversation. And what did that mean? How did we take that in? Did we just go on about our business? Or did we just let that resonate within us, and what did we get from it? Because you see, that's all a part of the plan. Everything that we have accomplished, everything that we have not accomplished, the steps that we have taken, the decisions that we have made, have brought us to where we are right here and right now.
Yes.
And I hope that you like who you are right now.
Amen.
You know, because if we haven't, we still have a chance. We have the opportunity. We have it within us to make something new, to make ourselves new. And you know, we know enough. We know enough to do it. I don't trust myself enough sometimes, so I'm always thinking that somebody else on the internet knows a whole lot more than I do. And then when I sign up for those classes and I take those classes, they're awesome. And yet they're saying the same thing that Reverend Allen says, saying the same thing that I already know, the things that I say to someone else. But you know, we're always looking at, I'm sometimes looking outside of myself thinking that somebody else knows more than I do. And they do, depending on the subject. But at the same time, I know what I know about the divine light of God. I know what I know about the power, the all magnificent power of the Spirit of God.
Come on,
that always covers me all the time, covers you, covers us all, lift us up. Whenever you think about the Spirit of God, whenever you think about God and being with yourself right here and right now, aren't you lifted?
Yes.
Aren't you lifted? Isn't your spirit just overjoyed to
Yes.
be here right now, wherever that may be? You know, it puts a smile on your face. It puts a little new pep in your step.
Yes.
And you just feel like you can say whatever you need to say because you know that right here, right now, God covers us.
Yes.
God's covering me when I walk out this door, when I drive down the street. I mean, we're safe. Nobody's had accidents lately. And even if they have accidents, and I know someone who has, they're covered. They're fine. Everybody else is fine.
Yes.
So once we acknowledge and recognize that all we have to do is be in the flow, be in the zone, be in the zone of Almighty God, and know that, recognize that, feel that, and trust it, there's nothing that we can't do, nothing we can't accomplish, no place we can't go, nothing we can't say, no one we can't speak to or be
Yes.
with or
Amen.
have a conversation with,
Yeah.
regardless to whether we know the subject or not. Sometimes it's just about listening,
Yeah.
just listening, and that's an empowering thing as well. So I am so grateful to have been asked to do something that I imagined myself doing and being, not necessarily here in this spot, but I can't think of a better spot I'd rather be, to open myself up and express who I am to you and to the world. I want to speak. I want to be able to be a good speaker. And I know that in order to do that, it takes a lot of practice. So this I said yes to. It allows me the opportunity to know that all is well. To know that I am in the flow and I'm where I'm supposed to be right now. Because I said yes to the possibility to step forward and let all that go. And be here right now and let God flow through me. I appreciate you all coming and being here. I love you.
Thank you.